I started going to JPS Health Network. It is a county hospital in Fort Worth, and they have like specialists of every kind, your regular doctors, and they even have their own insurance kind of a thing. They call it the indigent program. So that's all good and fine. That helped when I first needed to start going there. After 10 years, you get to know the places very well, doctors very well. They do change over depends, but somewhere between 2 and or 4 years, depending whether it's your PCP or your specialist. That's frustrating because you're always having to like train your new doctor. I'm used to leaning into my thing, but anyway, I have been seeing this one particular PCP for almost about 3 years now, and she's been fairly nice, mostly understanding. But the last couple of visits that I've gone to see her, she has entered the room and said immediately, I am running late and I do not have time to listen to everything that you have going on. Well, I don't quite know how to react to that or what to say when that happens or happened. Uh, I did what I could, talk to her about what I could remember at that point because I'm so flabbergasted. A lot of times I go blank in my mind. That's also a lot of medication I take and part of the disease with my uh, confusion for lupus that has kind of a side effect. You get confused a lot, especially if you're tired and in a flare. Well, this second time it happened, I thought, no, 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 no. I'm not going to put up with this. So I did go home, filed a complaint. And sadly, the same time this was going on, I see a GI. I'm not even going to try to say the name, gastroenter something. Um, been seeing him for quite a few years. Had a colonoscopy and an upper and a lower endoscopy, and then had to go back about 8 years later. Had a second one done, and there were two benign polyps. So you have to go back 5 years later. That should be coming up in like another year. So, you get used to seeing this doctor and my medication. You call for refills. And this doctor, I was getting low on my refill, and the pharmacy calls to or faxes to get the doctor's okay. I called also to make sure it was taken care of and to see about getting an appointment early earlier, I should say, than 2 years or a year because my symptoms did a sudden change, and I felt this is something that needed to be looked at. And 2 weeks later, the pharmacy nor I had received any callback or message back. I made at least four more calls back. The pharmacy also faxed at least 4 times. Also, I kept records of all of this. I eventually found someone at JPS in the patient and family. I don't know what she called it, reconciliation or something. And she got a hold of the office, and it was late that evening. The doctor finally called in a prescription. Oddly enough, the nurse told the lady I spoke with that I needed to make an appointment right away, that they had never seen me. I told Norma, the woman I spoke with, how could I be calling for a refill if they've never seen me? And she looked at, I guess, the paperwork, and she said, well, I see right here where you've been there. Well, she said, either way, you need to make an appointment as soon as possible. So she transferred me to the office. I cannot even call to make an appointment till the end of September because it's filled, and they don't even have the next schedule, I guess, until the 1st of October. I did get the refill, but not in to see the doctor about my problem. The lady got Norma at the patient and family place got the refill taken care of. That's the only thing that's been taken care of was the refill. After I had run out, had to go through all of that frustrating situation. And this is not the only problem that I've actually had to deal with JPS. In dealing with another doctor outside of JPS, we were trying to find out about a medication that she had prescribed before. I went into my calendar all the way back through the last week of December where I found what I was looking for. And as I was going back, I noticed that almost every time I called JPS since January, each time was noted with did not receive a callback. And I haven't had a chance to go back, and I would like to make a grid or whatever you want to call it about how many times I called and was not called back and which doctor it was and how many calls I made before I did get a call back. That's inexcusable to not get your calls back. They tell you it could be 24 to 48 hours. So you know you cannot even call back until 48 business hours have gone by. So if you call on Friday, you can't do anything until Tuesday. That's 4 days before you can even think of calling back. Did you get my message? And so that can be pretty frustrating also. There are many here right in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. This is a huge medical area. And I immediately called my insurance company when I left the PCP's office, dropped her, or I don't know, you fired her. I don't know what you call it. But I dropped her, told the insurance company what had happened. And I have a new PCP that I see tomorrow. She is not with the JPS network. She's with, it's Texas Health Care or something. It's another group. There's Baylor out here. We have the Methodist Hospital. There are several really good health options, company hospitals or whatever available out here. I went to JPS originally because I could get all my doctors right there, and also I qualified at the time for the indigent insurance plan or whatever. Important. I'm on disability and didn't have a lot. I had no other income except for my disability. So you don't get as much as you pay out for your doctors for your medicine on disability. They show a website called We Care at jpshealth.org, and you're supposed to be able to go to that site when you have trouble, or go to the JPS healthcare whatever site, just in general. Both of those websites lead you directly to a Google search page for JPS. They are useless websites. I don't know how long that's been going on, but I can't. It amazes me that it has happened in the first place. Makes me wonder who is in control of their website, their patient care and patient relations. That right there is a little bit too much.